Hi, today my presentation is about understanding students with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. That is a high spread disorder in our school systems today and our world today. Approximately 11% of children aged 4 to 17 have been diagnosed with ADHD. That's 6.4 million kids. That is crazy. The rate of children diagnosed with ADHD continues to increase. In 2003, approximately 7.8% were diagnosed. In 2007, 9.5% were diagnosed. And then in 2011, 2012, when the article that I received my information was posted, 11% of children were diagnosed. Why do these numbers keep rising? Since there are no set guidelines for diagnosis and that it's completely up to the physician, ADHD can sometimes be diagnosed when the children don't actually have it. Some children push their physicians to diagnose their children, hoping that they will be prescribed medication. They believe that this medication will be a magic pill and that it'll make their children behave perfectly. When in fact, most any child, ADHD or not, is going to have some imperfect behaviors. Also, in today's time, we have less outdoor play. There's more staying inside, schoolwork, preschool, daycares that just stay inside and have actual lesson plans, and less outdoor play. Outdoor play allows children to get out and run out their energy and have some freedom. When children get bored, they sometimes act out. This can lead to behaviors that are similar to the ADHD behaviors, and that's simply because they're just bored and are tired of sitting inside. We also have more screen time in today's society. iPads, tablets, smartphones, gaming devices, computers, and whatever else there is nowadays is often used before bedtime. This makes the children's brains, take longer to shut down and fall asleep. They in turn don't get enough sleep and can be overtired the next day at school. Being overtired can also bring out those ADHD behaviors of acting out and fidgeting and all those kind of things. Overstimuli can also bring out these bad behaviors. More children today are involved in late night activities, sports, different things like that, karate, whatever else there is. When they're outside or when they're in these activities, if they're up past their bedtimes, this again can make them overtired and make them bring out these bad behaviors. What are some behaviors and characteristics of ADHD kids? The child may be self-focused, where they don't recognize other people's needs. They just are completely focused on themselves. They may also interrupt others while they're talking or join in on conversations that they aren't part of. This can greatly interfere with their learning by interrupting the teacher in the middle of a lesson. They may also have trouble waiting their turn. Again, this can bring out distraction in the classroom by interrupting the teacher or just talking in the middle of a lesson to their friends. A child with ADHD may have a hard time controlling their emotions. They can have inappropriate outbursts or tantrums because they just can't control it. Students with ADHD have a hard time sitting still without fidgeting, wiggling in their seats, squirming, messing with their hands, anything like that. Again, this also could be another distraction in the classroom. ADHD may cause a hard time controlling the students' noise level. They may have difficulties playing or engaging in work quietly. This makes group projects very difficult. ADHD kids get distracted easily, which may lead to unfinished tasks. If they start a project, they may get distracted in the middle of it and move on to something that's more interesting to them at the time, leaving the initial project unfinished. They may have a hard time focusing, even if someone is speaking directly to them. ADHD kids may avoid tasks that take a sustained mental effort, such as paying attention to class, which obviously would cause an interruption in their learning. They may make careless mistakes, especially with following directions. They may stare into space, daydream, or simply ignore what's going on around them. They may have trouble getting organized or keeping track of tasks and activities, and they may be forgetful, even with simple daily activities. Symptoms can vary greatly with each child's diagnosis. What one child does can be completely different from a different one. One child may be rambunctious and constantly interrupting the teacher, while another may just be the complete opposite and just sit still and keep to themselves. The IDEA Act of 2004, ADHD falls under the other health impairment category. Children with ADHD are able to receive the designated services under the IDEA of 2004 Act. These the children fall under the other health impairment category because ADHD adversely affects their education performance, since they can be easily distracted, forgetful, and any of those other behaviors previously listed in the last slide. Some effective class-wide interventions. Using close supervision and monitoring helps the teacher realize when the students are getting distracted or showing their ADHD behaviors. They can then intervene in the middle of the lesson to draw back those students instead of the students missing out on the whole lesson. The students being aware, or the teachers being aware of what's happening and what's the normal of each student, and keeping their normal process, and then makes them able to notice the other behaviors when they come out immediately and able to correct that. Establishing and teaching classroom rules is a big one. It helps the students know exactly what is expected of them. There's a fine line saying this is what you can do and this is what you can't do. They know what the consequences are that they will be given if they disobey any of those, and how to behave to please the teacher. Any gray areas is hard for students, and this is not just an ADHD, this is any student in general, that you need to have all those gray areas taken care of. They don't have students wondering what's right and what's wrong. Opening up more opportunities to response keeps all students more engaged in the lessons. It makes them aware. It makes them more interested in what their other students are saying and when they have an opportunity to speak out instead of just sitting there and listening to what is rehearsed. Contingent praise. That allows the students to feel like they can please the teacher. Most people really do like to please. So receiving praise makes them want to continue to do the behavior that they did to receive the praise. So just a simple, oh, you did a great job at listening to that whole lesson, or just simple things like that, keeps them thinking, oh, she noticed what I did, or she noticed that I was paying attention. And that keeps them on tasks and makes them want to do it again. Providing feedback to the students when they are doing something wrong tells the students right then and there how they are messing up and what they can do to correct it. This, again, goes back to the classroom rules, and it helps the students be able to know that, oh, what I'm doing right now is wrong and I need to change it, rather than thinking, oh, I got away with it yesterday, so it's okay to do it now. If every time they do something wrong, you tell them immediately what they do wrong, that will help them be on tasks more. Another one is implementing good behavior games. This makes it fun to be good. If they know that they get to do something fun, they're more likely to be well behaved and stay on track. And last, this is all of my sources. Thank you.